leader, and she has the responsibility of getting us back to the majority. I believe she's going to do it. We're going to create a way for this year. Now, as Democrats do, we just don't talk the talk, we walk the walk. We start talking about recognizing gender equity, we don't just talk about it. Nancy has the responsibility and is doing a great job in getting us back to where we used to be in the House of Representatives. And there's another woman here tonight whose job it is to make sure that Barack Obama is succeeded by a Democrat in the White House. When this young lady was elected to the Congress, I had met her during the campaign. And when I was allowed to select 2 chief deputy whips, I selected her to be one of them. Because I had seen in her not just ability, but willingness. It's one thing to have the ability. It's something else to be willing to use it on behalf of a mission. She is using her ability. She is innovative. She's tenacious. She is my friend. And it's my honor to present to you now the chair of the Democratic National Committee, Debbie Wasserman Schultz from California.
I can be from California too, that's fine. Thank you so much. Thank you, Leader Clyburn. It is so wonderful to be here with South Carolina's favorite son, Jim Clyburn. I've had the privilege of being mentored by Congressman Clyburn since day one. And I've said this numerous times, there really is no greater privilege than to have been honored by him when he asked both G.K. Butterfield and I to take a step into the Democratic leadership and work with him when he was our majority whip. And I am looking forward to making sure that we get back to the majority so we can return both he and Leader Pelosi to their rightful place in the Democratic leadership of the Congress of the United States. And really, let's hear it for Nancy Pelosi, our fearless Democratic leader. Leader Pelosi is someone who I was tremendously proud to follow into the majority, into battle really, when she became the first woman to wield the gavel in the House of Representatives in 2007. Under her speakership, we accomplished so much. But even in the minority, she has deftly moved to assert our Democratic agenda and hold the Republicans accountable. Madam Leader, Nancy, thank you so much for your incredible leadership, your friendship, and for empowering so many of us to make sure that we could help move America forward. It's an honor to serve with you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to also acknowledge my colleagues in the conscience of the Congress. As Leader Pelosi said earlier, my colleagues in the Congressional Black Caucus, and particularly Chairman Benny Thompson, who we at the DNC are partnering with the CBCI this weekend to put on the 4th Democratic presidential primary debate. We are so proud to be able to work with you, Benny, and it's an honor to serve with you in the House of Representatives. I also want to ask you to join me in thanking one of our nation's most respected and remarkable leaders, the former Attorney General of the United States of America, Eric Holder. General Holder, we are so thankful to have had your public service, your commitment, the sacrifice that you've made. I know when I served as a member of the House Judiciary Committee, it was really absolutely incredible to watch you very expertly maneuver through the questioning that some of our colleagues on the other side of the aisle would put you through when it came to putting you through your paces. But also, you help keep our nation safe. And for that, we thank you so much. Another important favorite son in South Carolina is the former governor of South Carolina, Jim Hodges, who is here tonight as well. Whose service to South Carolinians is so incredibly memorable and respected. I know how beloved you are, Governor, and we're so glad to have you here. And thank you for staying in the fight. I want to acknowledge my DNC members who are here tonight because they are unsung heroes in the trenches every single day. Of course, our South Carolina Democratic Party Chairman, Jake Harrison, the Vice Chair, Kate Kuntz, Boyd Brown, Representative Gilda Cobb Hunter, who also doubles as our Southern Caucus Chair, former DNC Chairman Don Fowler, and three of my colleagues in the House of Representatives who are also here tonight and happen to also serve as DNC members, Congresswoman Barbara Lee and Maxine Waters of California, and Leader Nancy Pelosi. Of course, we also have to thank our remarkable staff, the staff of the South Carolina Democratic Party, of the DNC, and of the CBCI, who have been working for months and months to get ready for this very special and incredible weekend. And of course, because we're Democrats, and because we believe in working people, and in making sure that we can lift them up, please join me in thanking the incredible service staff that has helped make sure that this evening will be a success and an outcome. Thank you so much. We are here in Charleston not only for our first in the South Democratic primary debate, but the DNC, the CBCI, and the South Carolina Democratic Party all felt very strongly that we must have this debate this weekend in Charleston to honor the Emanuel 9, but also to make sure that we could focus the nation's attention on what is at stake in this election, on how critical it is that we elect a Democrat as the 45th President of the United States of America. And I am thrilled to be here, as I said, with so many friends and colleagues in South Carolina at the First of the South dinner. Let's give a huge round of applause to Chairman James Harrison and the entire South Carolina Democratic Party team. They have done such a good job, and we're really appreciated. As chair of the DNC, I'm especially thrilled to be here and working with all of you because with fewer than 300 days to go until Election Day, which seems like a lot, unless you're running for office, the choice couldn't be any more clear. And I know that no matter which one of our candidates is the nominee for president, the American people can trust that our party, the Democratic Party, is the one that's going to keep our economy growing, keep expanding opportunity, and keep America moving forward with the same optimism, energy, and ambition as we've seen for the last 7 years under President Barack Obama. Thank you all so much. Now, I don't know if you saw it in the news this week, but the Ringling Brothers Circus announced that they're going to retire all their elephants this year. That's not fake news, that's real news. They actually made that announcement, which means that along with the Republican debates this past Thursday, there were two big stories in the news about elephants at the circus who are about to be out of work. To the Republicans, they put on a pretty good show. But once you look past the spectacle, one thing becomes clear. They're doing everything they can to prove that they are the party of fear, doom, and gloom. They're really living in an alternative universe. But you know what? The GOP's hand-wringing has it all wrong. Every one of their candidates is absolutely committed to undoing every good thing we've accomplished under President Barack Obama. Each one wants to drag us back to where we were 7 years ago. I would normally say I don't know about you, but I do know that every single person in this room is absolutely committed to never going back to that place. We're not going back. We are going to move forward. We need to never forget what that looked like. When the last Republican president left office, our country was bleeding 800,000 jobs a month, with 8 million jobs lost in total during the Great Recession. Families lost their homes as foreclosure signs popped up in every neighborhood across America. And too many Americans had to face bankruptcy just to be able to pay for health care. Between the insults and the shouting, that's the substance of what they've been debating. How best to drag us back to the glory days of the Bush years. But that's not what the American people want. And it's our job as Democrats to make absolutely sure on Election Day that's not what they're going to get. Isn't it? That's our responsibility. It's fitting that we're gathered here on Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, just after President Obama delivered his final State of the Union address. Now, listening to his speech, I couldn't help but think about how proud Dr. King would be to see our president, our first African-American president, speaking out once more with the same unwavering optimism and clear-eyed ambition for a brighter tomorrow. And I was so proud to call myself a Democrat that night, knowing that after 7 years of hearing the critics and the cynics deride our dedication to those two simple words, hope and change, knowing that we truly have come a long way. Now here's how far hope and change have carried us under President Barack Obama. 70 months in a row of private sector job growth, and an economy that has created more than 14 million new jobs. In fact, we've added more net private sector jobs in the last 12 weeks than were added in the last 12 years of Republican administration. Thanks to the Affordable Care Act, nearly 18 million Americans have health care coverage they didn't have. No one can be turned away for a pre-existing condition. And as a breast cancer survivor, I can tell you that that is something incredibly important to the 125 million Americans in this country who live with a pre-existing condition, who previously have to wait every day, worrying about whether they have a shoe to drop. No more. And we have the lowest uninsured rate recorded in our history. Our auto industry just had its best year ever. Manufacturing has created nearly 900,000 new jobs in the past 6 years, and manufacturing is slightly important here in South Carolina. We've cut our deficits by almost 3/4. Dreamers have been able to learn, work, and contribute to their communities. And just last week, the President took important, critical executive action to turn the tide against gun violence, which affects so many of our communities, and expanding that membership. Hiring law enforcement staff and calling for increased funding for mental health treatment. That's our progress. And that's what's at stake. Not just this November, but every year in every election at every level. President Obama said it himself. Executive action is not enough. So we need to get out the vote in this presidential year. Of course we do. We need to elect Democrats at the top of the ticket, the bottom of the ticket, and everywhere in between. And we need to make it absolutely clear to the American people, north, south, east, and west, why we are proud to be Democrats. So why am I a Democrat? Because thanks to Democrats, more Americans today have access to quality, affordable health care. Why am I a Democrat? Because thanks to Democrats, it's more likely that my children will enter a workforce where women earn equal pay in a society that doesn't discriminate on the basis of who loves whom. Because thanks to Democrats, we just might have a chance to tackle climate change before it's too late. I'm a Democrat, thank you. I'm a Democrat because I know our nation's diversity is our strength. Because I know that expanding opportunity for all enriches us all. And because hope is a 4-letter word worth fighting for. But we need you. We need you, South Carolina. And there's just one place where our highest aspirations become realities. And it's the ballot box. South Carolina, we need you. We need you fired up and ready to go. Now let's hear it from our wonderful Democratic candidates On to victory for Democrats in 2016.